Alright, so we're playing against Sanjinder. 5-1 game here. I'm not black, so I can't play the Sicilian defense just yet. Best square for the bishops in the Queen's Gambit to go is G2 and play the Catalan like a man. That's also very popular as well. If I had to pick between D3 and E2, it's D3, but if I had to pick overall, G2 is also a very popular pick. So we're going to go D4 here. See what Sanjinder decides to do. Okay, looks like I've gotten the thumbs up from Danny that I'll be getting this account made premium. I'll probably refresh within the next hour or so, and it should be premium. Alright, so D4, D5. I guess we will see a Queen's Gambit here. I'll try sticking the bishop on D3 or G2. One of the two options there. I was told I should play different openings by Magnus Carlsen, so I was considering changing Queen's Gambit for Catalan. It could go either way. I know that he's played the Queen's Gambit with, Bishop D3 or E2. I know he's played the Catalan. Both openings are very popular. It's whatever you personally prefer. Alright, knight C3. Black is playing the Slav defense. He takes on C4 pretty early here. Usually not that popular to take this early, but it is definitely playable. I think I'm not the best in the world with opening theory. Let me tell you that. But I think E3 is a simple move here. Just try to get the bishop to take the pawn again. If he plays B5, I'll try to undermine that with A4. So we'll see what Sanjinder decides to do. We've already both spent about a minute on the first 4 moves. Alright, he plays B5. We gotta play A4. Undermine this pawn a bit. If this pawn captures, then C4 is weak. Okay, so A6 is a mistake here, I believe. I think we could just simply grab the pawn. This pawn on A6 is pinned, so it's pinned to the rook. So if he takes back with his A-pawn, of course, I grab the rook. If he takes back with the C-pawn, I'd grab with the knight. Okay, plays bishop B7, kind of an interesting choice. How do I want to do this? Do I capture the A6 pawn or the C6 pawn is the question. I think we're going to capture C6. Oops, let's take it. Alright, lag. Come on. You want to take it? There we go. Yeah, it blocks in the C1 bishop for the moment, but I think it is pretty important to get that pawn back early on. I can always play E4 later to reopen this bishop up. We can't really take that just yet. Let's play knight F3. Bishop E6 is also a possible move there, but for the most part, the majority of the time, you just work on getting the C4 pawn back. The advantage of this position, whenever black does take the C4 pawn, is that I have 2 pawns in the center, right? D4, E3 versus the 1 E6 central pawn. So pretty much, if they take on C4, you work on getting the pawn back, and then you use your 2 central pawns to just kind of gain space in the center. Bishop B4. Let's go. I think we can just castle. Just keep it safe. Don't think there's anything wrong with that. Probably E4 next move, or pretty soon. Okay, so he goes knight F6. I can't do E4 just yet. Let's go queen E2. Rook D1, and then E4. Could I play E4 instead of E3? E3 looks more solid, though. Yeah, I could also play E4 there. That would also be perfectly fine. I'm not sure what queen C8 is here. Let's go... I'm going to go knight A4 here. Oops, if the game will let me. Okay, knight A4 to threaten knight B6, the fork there. If I play E4 at the start, black does have moves like E5. Oh, okay, maybe he's guarding A6 for the 3 attackers. I wasn't really planning on grabbing the pawn. I mean, I could without a problem, but he could have just played a5. I feel like that would have been a better move to defend the pawn. Just play a5. Getting the square. Knight takes d4. He's counterattacking my queen, so I can't take his queen just yet. But it feels like I can just play knight takes d4 myself. And he's down a piece, and he's going to lose the rook. Not entirely sure what that was about. Why didn't I take the c4 pawn on move 8? I'll back up and look at it just after the game, Steven, and explain it at that point. All right, looks like we're grabbing the rook, though. Probably queen takes. Probably. Yeah, the knight on d4 covers queen c6, so no work. It's not working out there. So he is threatening to take the g2 pawn because of the bishop and queen battery. Just going to play f3 to stop that. Now the a6 pawn is definitely something I'll capture pretty soon. He should play a5, I guess. There you go. So he plays a5. And now that I'm up, what am I up? I'm up a 4 rook right now. Whenever you're up material, you just want to trade pieces. That's the most simple way of doing things. It's not the only way, but it is pretty simple. So just bishop d2, just trying to trade off some pieces. Essentially, the idea is that if I traded all pieces off equally, I'd just have a rook and he'd have nothing. So the more pieces I trade off, we're just going to take that. He'll take back with the pawn, I assume. And we're going to slide the rook over to c1. We've got both rooks on the 2 open files at this point. Playing to his rating. Now we're just going to play rook a7 to bother this guy. Pin that bishop. Rook b8, okay. Let's go... I guess just bishop a6. I think that's perfectly fine. Bishop b5 also is good here. Let's just do bishop a6, though, for simplicity's sake. Attacking the pinned piece. See what he decides to do here. e5, okay. I think we just exchange. Don't see why not. Queen takes. Let's go queen c4, threatening checkmate on c8. Alright, and I guess that's fairly simple. Queen c8 check. And rook takes c8. He's going to block with the knight, and then we have checkmate there. So I am somewhat changing the setup of this challenge a tiny bit. Alright, let me tell this guy, good game. Not the setup so much, but I did email Danny Wrench, and he's going to put the FM next to my name as well, so that people are aware that I am an FM, not that they're playing some kind of computer. I'll be getting the premium account version so that I can analyze games better. I wonder if I refresh right now if I'll get it. Actually, I'm not sure. Doesn't bishop takes a6 on 21 put white's queen in danger? Let me back up here, and we'll talk about this game a bit. All right, so he takes on c4. I could play e4, like somebody mentioned in the chat, but he can play e5, c5, e4, and e3 are both definitely possible options in this opening. I just decided to go with e3 just for being a little bit more solid. b5, a4. His best move here is just to play b4, probably. I move the knight. He pretty much has to give back his c4 pawn. He can't really hold on to it very easily without some kind of problems happening most of the time, such as this. a6 is just giving me the pawn. The reason I can't take on c4 just yet is because if he moves this knight while my bishop's on c4, if he moves this knight with a threat, then this bishop will also be threatening g2, and my rook would get trapped there. Hey, Skiggity, thanks a lot for the follow on the sport. Thanks a lot. So if I grab the pawn immediately, he might have knight takes d4, or knight e5, or knight a5, or something. I just play knight f3. I know the pawn's not going anywhere. He can't really hold on to it very easily. I mean, I guess knight a5 is possible, but then I just do queen check and get it anyways. So I just play knight f3, just trying to keep things safe. No need to go for unnecessary complications. Take the pawn back, and I am up a pawn now. Bishop b4, queen e2, so I guess I am technically threatening a6. I wasn't planning on grabbing it just yet, mainly because if I grab a6, then that bishop's pinned, right? So my rook on a1 is not defended either. So if I took that pawn, he could just attack the bishop, maybe queen b6 or something like that, and my bishop's pinned, and he'll grab my rook. So I'm really not worried about the a6 pawn with this move. This move is more so that I can centralize the rook and push my e4 pawn. But he plays queen c8, I guess maybe he was worried about it. I played knight a4 to threaten knight to b6. His best move is probably just to retreat the knight, but I guess he misses it. I play knight b6. He takes. I took back with my knight. Now I'm also forking the rook and the queen. He moved. I took. Guard the g2 threat, and now I'm up a 4 rook. It's just about trying to trade off some material. Keep the pressure on him. If he plays bishop takes a6 here, that's fine. I'll take back with my queen. So I think this is what exploding pawn was referring to. If he plays bishop takes a6, I'll just take back with my queen and guard my rook there. If he takes my bishop, I can't take his queen because he gets my queen, and things get a bit complicated there. But e5, take. Queen c4, threatening mate. He should just play h6, but at this point, really, he's down a rook. It's not going to be easy for him to win, or for him to do anything, honestly. And I get the checkmate at the end of the day. Alright, I'm going to refresh the page here to see if I've gotten the premium account yet. I'm not